Speeches have been a huge part of our nation. There have been presidential speeches, inspirational speeches, farewell speeches, informational speeches, and countless more that have impacted this country. On January 28, 1986, Ronald Reagan gave one of these speeches. This was the day the exploration of space on the Space Shuttle Challenger took off and 73 seconds later exploded. This day impacted so many people in our nation, and Ronald Reagan spoke that evening to comfort the brokenhearted. So according to History.com's 2009 article, Ronald Reagan was born on February 6, 1911. Growing up, he was involved in things such as sports, such as football, swimming, and track. He was involved in school plays, and he was also student body president. After graduating from Eureka College in Illinois, he worked as a radio sports announcer in Iowa. Some of his other occupations include, in 1937, Reagan did a screen test for the Warner Brothers movie studio. He was signed and debuted in his first film, Love Is on the Air. Over the next 30 years, he appeared in over 50 movies. In 1964, he began his political spotlight when he won the governorship of California, and he was re-elected for a second term in 1970. In 1981, at the age of 69, he was elected President of the United States and was termed the oldest person elected into the U.S. presidency. Just 2 months after his inauguration, Reagan survived an assassination attempt and was back to work a few weeks later. In 1984, he was re-elected for a second term and won by a landslide. In 1994, Reagan released a letter stating that he had been diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease and nearly 10 years later passed away at age 93, at the time making him the longest-lived president. Being the person that so many people looked up to and trusted as their president, Reagan delivered the words to comfort the people in the only way he knew how. This January 28, 1986 was supposed to be a day of discovery and exploration. Instead, it ended in heartbreak and loss for our country. According to the McKay's 2017 article on the Art of Manliness's website, there were 7 people aboard the shuttle, including Krista McAuliffe, who is a school teacher and the first ever civilian astronaut. And just 73 seconds after takeoff, the shuttle was consumed in fire and exploded, and all 7 aboard died. A couple of hours after the explosion, Reagan took it upon himself to speak to a rattled nation, offering peace and honoring the 7 who lost their lives. "Give me a challenge and I'll meet it with joy," is a quote Reagan used to describe the bravery of the 7 astronauts and how they served us all. Although this unforeseen disaster struck our country, Reagan had a duty to fulfill, and he did it in the most well-crafted way. He honored the deceased and spoke of their bravery. He provided hope for all of the people. He met the complete scope of emotions of people affected by this, including mourners, families that were directly affected, school children, and NASA. In the reality of things, even though this was unaccounted for, he spoke about how it was just a part of exploration and discovery, and states that the Challenger crew was pulling us into the future, and we will continue to follow them. In his closing remarks, Reagan states that the future doesn't belong to the faint-hearted, it belongs to the brave. He makes it very clear that the lives of the 7 astronauts will never be forgotten, and their bravery was unwavering. He brought the nation peace and gave us hope for what was to come after. He stated that we will continue to explore and discover and will never forget their contribution to the exploration of space. He did a really great job describing everything that took place. He did it in a well-mannered way and gave hope to the people of the nation. Thank you.